It is important to note that if we look around us in the nature and environment, we would be amazed to see the great diversity of the shape, size, color, form, and scent produced by flowers of different species of plant. One may be amazed, why do we see such diversity in flowers in the nature, and what may be the purpose for such rich diversity in shape, size, color, and forms? Technically, plants are placed in different taxonomic families based on their similarities in their morphology and adaptation, as well as anatomy. However, it is very interesting to note that the difference or the diversity of the shape, size, color, and forms of plant has usually evolved for a very specific purpose, and that purpose is pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the same flower or different flower or different species where they produce hybrids in case of plants for producing their next successive generation. The fertilization of the flower results in the production of the zygote. Finally, that develops into generates into the female structure of the ovary, and that ovary matures and gives rise to the flower, and then the flower at the end of the life cycle shrivels and it gives rise to the fruits with seeds. Now this again, the fruits and the seeds are disseminated by bats, birds, insects, mammals, also for the propagation of the plants. And these has evolved as plants are immobile. They cannot move like animals from one part to the another, and hence they are restricted to their habitat. Therefore, they need an efficient system of transferring this. So pollination or pollination biology is one of the most significantly important areas of biological research that has been identifying various factors, parameters essential for the pollination of flowers. Various insects such as bees, moths, butterflies, as well as different species of moths, bats, birds, snails, slugs also take part in this pollination. And it is important also to note that this pollination is a process of co-evolution that has happened between plant and its specific pollinators. So there are plants that are maybe deeply tubular shaped and has a broader landing chamber, particularly for a specific species of beetle that are heavy and they need a resting stage while visiting the flower. Else, if we could explore hummingbirds, we would see that the tubular shape of the some part is proportional to the size of the beak of the hummingbird species that it is responsible for pollination of that particular species of flower, so that it can put its beak successfully at the base of the flower to collect the nectaries and get dusted with the pollen grains while visiting the next flower, and thereby achieving chance cross-pollination during this process. So every flower species or plant species that are dependent on pollination, particularly the biotic pollination through the use of natural pollinators, have developed different strategies through million years of evolution in having distinct shape, size, color, forms, aroma to attract their specific pollinators to help them in achieving the process of transfer of these pollen grains from the male to the female part of the plant, as well as in helping in the process of fertilization, thereby securing naturally the successful regeneration of the plants over geological period. And this has been true both for our agriculture as well as for forestry. Without this process, nothing would survive. But specifically, the colors in the plant are produced due to presence of chromatophores in the cells of plants. These chromatophores are a kind of plastids just like chlorophyll, which is responsible for the green coloration of plants, stems, leaves. The chromatophores are two distinct types: carotenoids, which produce yellow, orange, red kind of color in the petals, and also anthocyanin, which is water soluble and gives rise to pink, purple, red, brown, and various other colorations. Mutations result in the genes of various species of plant, causing an alteration and distinct pattern formation of various colors of the plants, and those that have been favorable has been selected by those plant species over the course of million years of evolution. Various shapes, whether it is tubular or with a radial symmetry, or tempunulate or bell shaped, as we explore various species of plant, we would see distinct shapes of flower that attracts various pollinators, but the basic reason being the same, or the basic fundamental use has been the same, the policy being that all of them have been directed towards pollination. Even senescence, which means the degradation of the plants, or senescence means toward the end of the life cycle, the plant slowly starts degenerating. The flowers also goes through a period of life cycle, and as the flower shrivels down, disintegrate, or the plants during their life cycle, when they're coming to the end of their life cycle, they undergo the period of senescence, and then due to a chemical reactions within, changes in the hormone, various biosynthetic pathways within the plants, they also show a drastic color change, and this could be senescence, this could be change of season, as we can see in case of maple leaves across the polar subpolar countries, where they show a wide diversity of beautiful leaf coloration during the autumn or the fall season, as also as many other plants show senescence, which also produces distinct color. But above all these strategies used by plants so intelligently to survive in their natural ecosystem and environment is closely related to their ability and their capacity to attract pollinators to the best of their ability, because only through this plant pollinator interaction can plants survive in the nature. And it is also very important to mention that if a particular species of plant become extinct, the particular pollinator dependent on that species is also going to be extinct, and vice versa. Hence, it is very important that we protect both the plants as well as their natural pollinators to help them survive, give rise to their next generation. So the diversity in the shape, size, and forms of color is mostly to attract successfully the pollinators that they are targeting or has co-evolved over time. Shoykot Kumar Basu, Bureau Report, Kalinga Chronicle TV.